Hello, it's Mrs. M here, and today we're going to be talking about brain fog. Do you get forgetful? Do you think, my goodness, is there something wrong with me? Why am I all of a sudden, forgetting things? Your memory isn't as strong as it used to. You forget people's names and places, even though you've got it on the tip of your tongue. Yeah, you're not on your own, ladies. There's a lot of people who suffer with brain fog as a problem with the menopause. So, got the trusty old laptop here. I'm actually going to be going for my blog because there's quite a few tips on this. It was something that, again, I was a bit concerned about. I was a bit worried. It was becoming one of my symptoms, and it happened at the same time as I was waking up in the middle of the night, and so I suppose it could be said I could have brain fog because I was just jolly well tired, which is probably exactly what was going on. So my brain fog came as a consequence of me not sleeping very well. So it could even be that. You could have another symptom that's causing you another symptom. I don't know. This menopause and perimenopause and postmenopausal game is no fun, is it, ladies? I don't know. So, I think the thing is what we have to get over here is to not worry. Because I know when I first started becoming a bit forgetful, relying on my journal rather a lot to be able to remember things, you do start to worry if there's something else going on with your body. Is it the menopause or could it be another illness? I'm going to come on to that in a bit because it is important, and it's important that I mention it. So stay tuned if you think it may be something else. So what are the symptoms of brain fog? Well, unable to concentrate properly, memory issues, attention problems, forgetfulness. You're just not as quick and responsive as maybe you had been years by. Feeling mentally drained. Well, not nice, is it? It's not nice, ladies. But over 60% of women have said that they experience this. That's massive. That's not even just a weeny bit. That's massive. So you're in good company, and I was one of them. But what can it be? What can be causing it? Hormones, yeah, nasty old things. It can be them. It can be anxiety and stress. It can be bad diet, exercise, none of it, excess alcohol. It can be your insomnia and sleep issues. It can be nutritional deficiencies, general tiredness and lack of self-care, and it could be other potential health issues. So I want to go through each point in turn. And it's no surprise, hormones again. Another blog post and hormones are in there, but it is true. They're a complete pain in the backside, if you want my honest opinion. But your estrogen levels, and that they lower and they alter and fluctuate throughout the menopausal phase. And sometimes this means then that we can suffer from the brain fog, and I knew something as I've gone through perimenopause, my hormones have been all over the shot. Manage them better now with some of the things, as I've said, that I've been implementing. But I can almost pinpoint when I'm on a hormone all day. I can almost sense it. It's weird. And how do I deal with it? I don't beat myself up about it. I just accept it. I just go, I'm having a hormone all day. End of. Put it to bed, and I just try and blank it out. If I'm going to be a bit forgetful and ditzy that day, so be it. People just have to accept it. Sorry, but I'm quite blunt with that. And thankfully I've got a very good husband who is very, very thoughtful. And so if I say to him, my brain's not with it today, he gets it. He gets it. And it may be that you need to speak to your partners and just say to them, I'm not having a great day today. I feel a little bit hormonal, feel forgetful. Excuse me. Get on with it. Help me out. Hey ho. The other thing is anxiety, stress, and brain fog. It can't be underestimated when it comes to brain fog. It seems to be a major problem with many menopausal women. And whether you're menopausal or not, have you ever discovered that, you know, if you're going through an anxious situation, you're going through an anxiety, you're going to be, your head's all over the place. Well, you know, it's just one of them things that you have to try and work through. And anxiety, it not only when you go through it is your head all over the place, but you feel utterly drained. You feel so exhausted. You feel like you've done a marathon. And it's weird because I find that the ladies I speak to fall in two camps. So some can sleep a lot, and they sleep a lot through their exhaustion, and then there are other ladies who can't sleep through their anxiety. You know, it tends to be one or the other. It's very, very strange. And you know, so there's those who find as well that their anxiety comes and goes, so they'll have periods and spells of it, and other ladies feel that they are in a constant cycle of anxiety, and it's awful. I have to say, at this point, you know, I'm not a GP and I'm not a nurse. And anxiety is something that you really do need to take seriously. So if you're suffering, please go to your GP. Please go speak to them. They may put you through to a counsellor, or, you know, offer you some other help of some sort, but don't leave it, because it'll only make you worse, and it starts to manifest. You know, when I see people who are in anxiety, it then starts to have like physical effects as well as, you know, the mental effects, and it's not good. So I would always urge people, you know, to seek help, go to counselling, go see your doctor, whatever you can do, but make a positive step in not ignoring it and sorting it. The next one, oh yes, poor diet, no exercise and excess alcohol. And it is true. It is true. If you have a poor diet, if you don't exercise, if you're smoking, if you're drinking, how the heck do you expect to be healthy, menopause or not? But during your menopause, it's going to feel a lot worse. So, okay, imagine you are one of those people who do all of them. What would you do? Well, you don't tackle everything in one go. No. So you tackle one thing at a time. The first thing I would tackle is probably diet. See if you can implement a better diet. Then remove the alcohol, remove the cigarettes, and try and do a bit of exercise. I know it's not easy, but you know something? Well proud of the hubby. He had smoked for 33 years and he had about 40 cigarettes a day, and he's now given up for a year. He tried everything going, the patches, you name it, and they didn't work, but he had to go with vaping. It worked, and now he's on less than 3 milligrams. So I am so super proud of him. Super proud of all the people I thought who would never give up smoking, and he did it. Well done him. But one tip he did give, if you are a smoker, because I'm not, so, you know, I'm not very good at helping like that. He said, try, if you are moving to a vape, not to have the tobacco flavoured ones, to go for something completely opposite to tobacco, so that you don't get used to that taste, that smell. He says now he can't, and I know he cannot bear if somebody's smoking and he walks through it now, he's like, ugh. I'm saying, yeah, that was you only about a year ago, sir. So it's helped, but it's another thing. If you can try and lead a healthier lifestyle, then please do. Insomnia, sleep issues, I've touched on this, but when I was not sleeping properly, that's when I noticed my brain fog was a lot worse. Now that I have got a 95% better sleep, it's sort of not as bad. I will still have the odd time, but I think that's life anyway. I think sometimes we all live at about 1,000 miles per hour, and you're expected to remember this, remember this, remember this. I have journals. I love my journal. You've never heard of bullet journals or journals? Oh, God, get yourself one. Just put it, well, get yourself a diary. List everything that you've got to do for the day, and then if you don't manage to do something, what you do is you move it forward to another day. It's a bit like that pile of administration. Yeah. Bit naughty, I shouldn't be saying this really, should I? You know when you have like a pile of paperwork to do, and then you go, oh no thanks, and put it down to the bottom. Can be a bit like that. So you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined to make sure that you tick off everything eventually and not just move it like from January to December, because that's jolly naughty. It's the sort of thing I used to do. Not anymore. I've now come to the mindset, get it out the way. Get it out the way quicker. If there's anything you don't want, if you can't bear doing, get it done, get it out the way, and then it'll not be on your mind as much. One less thing to think about. So, you know, I try to get in my sleep a good 7 to 8 hours, which is what most people recommend. You know, so sleep, it does affect you. And again, if you are having real serious problems with your sleep, go and see your doctor, see what they can do, see what tips. Have you checked out my other blog, you know, to do, you know, with sleep issues, you know, insomnia. It's really, really useful. It's really useful. There's some good tips on there. Look at those tips and go through them and think, yeah, do you know what? That's what I'm doing wrong. Maybe that might work. Always worth a go. Now, this one is interesting, but again, people dismiss it. People dismiss it because I think they think, oh, well, you know, it's something probably not pushed to the forefront enough, but it's nutritional deficiencies. And I think people, again, underestimate the power of good food and good nutrition during the menopause. You know, quite a few women have said to me that when they had to go to their GP and doctor to discover more about what was the problems that was being caused during the menopause and their, you know, their various issues, with regards to this point of brain fog, the doctors did blood tests on them, and both of them, both the ladies that are springing to mind immediately, have said that they lacked vitamin B12 and iron. And they said that once they had the additional supplements and they implemented them, that they felt like new women. So it's another thing worth exploring. Sometimes the most simple issues, like a vitamin deficiency, can really cause you headaches. It can be a real nightmare. And it's just knowing, you know, what could you be lacking? Sometimes a good blood test from a doctor is probably will shed more light on things. So, you know, you've also got to make sure you don't have a lot of trigger foods as well. Is there a food that could trigger you? I've talked about cheese before, my crazy cheese dreams. But another one, if I was to have a Chinese takeaway, and I've not made the Chinese myself from scratch, and it has MSG, monosodium glutamate, I will get the worst brain fog the next morning, and I will have joint pains and aches. Now, that has been the case before I became menopausal or perimenopausal. It happened before that. So I know that that is a trigger that's going to make me worse. You know, is there something in your diet that could trigger you? There's all sorts of food allergies and that now. And you need to explore it a little bit more and just make sure that if you think, do you know what? The last time I felt as bad as that, you know, I had eaten such and such. That's where a journal's good, because you can actually put what you eat and if you're having a bad day, and then just see if there's something that you've done during that day that would trigger you again. And then you might be able to pinpoint it yourself. But you need to make sure that your diet has a good balance of proteins, vegetables, fruit, heart healthy fats like olive oil, nuts and fish. In a nutshell, a good Mediterranean diet. And I am all for the Mediterranean diet. It doesn't exclude any food groups. But to me, when I go to the Med and I see some of these older women in particular, I think, wow, you look good for your age. And they've not had surgery or other things. They've literally just had a good diet. And there's a lot to be said. Now, the other thing, I'll put the old specs on for this. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Yeah, it's true. If you're dehydrated, then your brain can't think as clearly. So I aim to drink around about 7 to 8 glasses a day, as well as tea and coffee. So tea and coffee, as you'll probably see in my other posts, can cause problems. So see if you can switch to decaffeinated, take them out if need be. So, you know, the other one, alcohol, take that out if necessary. It won't allow you to think clearly. The other thing is are you within the government guidelines or not? I have put a link on my blog and you can press on that, and it really gives you a very, very good template from the government website of what you should be drinking and basically what you shouldn't be drinking. It helps to put it in real easy terminology, so you can go check that out. Self-care, don't underestimate self-care. You know, you a person who is actually burning the candle at both ends. I know I can be like that at times. You know, with my job, I can be one end of the country one minute, the other end next. I have a couple of businesses. I do all these podcast blogs and everything else. I have a family to look after. So I've got a lot on my plate. I quite like myself being busy, but you know, you don't always have to be superwoman. You know, are you taking time out for yourself? And self-care doesn't have to be expensive either. Yeah, it's nice if you can take yourself off to a spa, but it doesn't have to be overindulgent. It can be just the simple things. Do you want to go out for, you know, a coffee or something with your friends during the day? You know, for an hour or two? Is it just putting on a mask at night and just relaxing in the bath with your candle? You know, so it doesn't have to be mega expensive. I'm going to be doing a lot more about self-care as well as the blogs continue. So hopefully giving you some tips. So it's not all about menopause, ladies. There's a lot more to come. Menopause, eh? But you know what? I feel as if I have to do it. I feel as if I have to give the advice and information that's stuck in here to you ladies to try and help you, because it is important, you know. So if you're tired, if you're burnt out, if you're not actually giving yourself some self-care, then you are going to probably get brain fog anyway. You know, and with that, you can start to get other illnesses. It can then turn into like chronic fatigue and depression. So also, don't be a martyr to yourself and by helping all and sundry. Yeah, it's very good, but sometimes you have to say no to things, and you have to say no because it's taking care of your body. So the last issue really I want to go on to is about other health issues. I can't mention brain fog and loss of memory without maybe touching on, it might not be the menopause. It could be other illnesses. There is a few conditions here. I'm going to read them off for you. So, could you be experiencing diabetes, dementia, Alzheimer's? You know, headaches and cluster headaches and migraines? Could it be a thyroid issue? Could it be autoimmune diseases like arthritis, lupus, MS? Could it be depression and anxiety? Could it be fibromyalgia, or could it even be cancer? That's quite a list. And, you know, it's even a list for a GP to go through, to be quite honest with you. When you say, I am all of a sudden suffering from brain fog, forgetfulness, I'm not quite as sharp as I used to be, you know, it could be any of these. It could be other ones that are not listed here. This isn't an exhaustive list, and I want to make that very clear on all the vlogs that I do and blogs. I try and put as much information as possible, but I don't have the answer to everything. You know, I am human. I do try and put as much information there as possible for you, but any of these symptoms that you're getting, it could well be something else. So please, just go to your doctor if you're a bit concerned. If you're thinking, I don't think this is the menopause, listen to that gut feeling. Listen to it in here and think, right, well, I'm going to have a word with my GP. See if it could be, or could it be something else? Don't forget, illnesses like diabetes are on the rise. Type 2 diabetes. I'm going to be totally discussing that with people because it's probably one of the most missed diseases of all, and it can create real havoc with your body. I'm thankful that I don't suffer with it, but I actually look after people who do, including my husband, which we think it's because of the years of smoking that he did do. That's what's caused the problem. So, you know, it could be something like that, which is treatable. You know, diabetes is, you know, you can manage it through medications if you want with your GP. I also know a lot of people who don't use medications and have gone on a very strict diet and regime and managed to reverse their type 2. So, but it could be something else. I'd like you to get checked up if that's the case, and also if you are, you know, concerned. So I hope that's been helpful. Try not to worry. try to be positive and think, right, okay. And if you do have brain fog like I do every now and again, accept it. Just think, do you know what? I can't remember everything. Got my journal, and if people can't accept it, then jogon.com. Oh yes. So until next time, which I should be hopefully doing some more vlogs very shortly in the next day or two. I've got a bit more work to do, on the writing up of them. But if there's anything in particular that you would like me to cover, that you would like help with, send me a message. I always love a message. I'll do my best to get back to you. Subscribe and go on the post. Do whatever you need to do. But also do know that to stay blessed, be happy, know that you're loved, especially by me, and have a great day and a great week.